The article is written by Paul Tassi, and he's been a Bungie, I'm not going to say fanboy, but he's played Bungie games and like Destiny games a lot, right? He's been into the games a lot. He makes an article, he says, it's just over for Marathon. This is Marathon right now, guys. This is it. When Paul Tassi is saying you're done, it's really done. If he's saying a Bungie game is done, it's bad. I tried to put this off for a while now, giving Marathon the benefit of the doubt in terms of fixing what ails it, maybe snagging an audience that's large enough to make it at least sustainable. But no, it's over. I can't do this anymore. This probably has always been true, but the events of the past week have cemented it. I will get into the live stream and the plagiarism and all of this later, and what's currently going wrong, but the future does not look bright. Gentlemen, not looking bright is only the beginning. I'm telling you guys, like, this is really, really, really bad. I think the game might actually be cooked.
Bungie is cooked. This is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. If you guys do not delay this game, you know what? Don't. It makes for far better content. It's a heck of a lot more entertaining than Marathon, I'll tell you that right now. They just got caught red-handed, lifting art from some
That was one of the worst things about Assassin's Creed Shadows, is the fact that it came out. Do you know how many videos I've made about that game? And then it finally comes out, and then it's over. That's stuff. I hate when video games come out.
Random artist on Twitter and just throwing it into Marathon. The funny thing is, this isn't even the first time that these guys have gotten caught doing something like this before. It's so lazy, it's so scummy, it's so blatant, and it shows how little creativity the studio has left and how hard and fast they're trying to rush Marathon out the gate. I played Marathon, and I can say with absolute confidence, it's not going to work.
Nope.
It doesn't stand a chance. They don't.
The thing is that I was on vacation when Marathon came out.
Pick your hero.
But
or
when
villain.
I saw
I'm
the
not
Shroud
judging.
didn't even
Don't
play it
have to
for
be a
day,
witch to find the magic in this
I was
world.
like, wow.
But it does help.
Holy shit.
Understand the audience, they don't understand the game, they don't understand the genre, and it's so woefully uninspired that it makes a lot of sense as to why they're just copying things that other people are doing, and in some cases copying their art, I guess.
Maybe not Shroud, it's somebody else. Like, but either way, it was like one of those people. It might have been like Lyric or somebody like that. Like, I don't know. It might have been. You played it for Monday. Maybe I'm thinking somebody else.
Magneto raised me to never stop fighting for what I believe is right.
Couldn't be any more clear. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
And their artwork, and also the pitiful reception of Marathon.
You're a sight for sore eyes, Steve.
Wish I could say the same.
Bungie seems to have
but
a
in my
very close
timeline, I'm not sure we
They
ever crossed
cannot
paths.
be Concord 2
In mine,
anymore.
it
Now
was you
they're
who
Art
first
Raiders.
opened my eyes to the
It's just
hero
better.
I was always meant to be.
If I look forward to finding out exactly
The battle starts in 5.
He looks like a
4,
really
3,
badly done
2,
AI version
1.
of an androgynous version.
All you need to do
of,
is capture the mission area. Got it?
What's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
Everything has to be
Rodon or
watertight.
something like that. That guy that, like, you know, that, yeah, Ronan. Yeah, Ronan. Yeah, bro, he looks like a soy version of Ronan.
At least over the last 2 years, one of the first
An
instances
enchanted
we saw
object.
this was actually back in
Interesting.
2021 for the Witch Moon expansion of MCU, where Twitter user Relay314 fan art of Sandy Brown
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
without permission or notification.
That's to capture the mission area.
Okay, right. It's not a video game. If you can't immediately tell the gender of the characters in the video game, the game is going to be garbage. If it is not immediately evident and completely obvious what the gender of the characters are, you are
Destroy these ice as soon as you see them.
Brain-rotted Western studio that makes making androgynous characters appealing. And it is already
You're not going anywhere. The real magic happens when we work together. Feeling stronger already. You're not going anywhere.
Julian Baylona's artwork was created in use solely for cutscenes, and again in design
game.
from the artist Tofu Rabbit, aside
Here I
from a
bet.
recolor and some minor cosmetic changes.
They just took that
In
one
every
for
one of these
one.
cases, Bungie
You've
pointed the
captured
blame
more
to
than
a
half of the
third-party
mission area.
contractor that they
Keep
had
going.
outsourced their work to, resolved the issues quietly, and then compensated the artist. Actually, as we speak, Bungie is in the middle of an active lawsuit with writer Kelsey over allegations that Bungie Red War campaign in 2017 and the Birth of Osiris expansion copied elements from his
that's
sci-fi
better.
story.
It's clobbering time! This is real firepower! Forces incoming. Whatever that amplifier was, it's
And you
off.
apply every different like filter to it, like
Area's almost
background,
I won't make the same
overlay,
mistake.
you know, like
Be right back.
imprints, everything on it. You put all of them at the same time.
Published on WordPress between 2013 and 2014. These claim similarities in the name of the Red Legion, the antagonist's motivations.
Your
and several
powers are
narrative
mine!
elements
A
like
disappearing.
Assemble!
Never
Never miss! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
plagiarized content. Wow. And that's all because the Red Legion existed.
My fate isn't sealed. Now, a disappearing act.
Who thought this was a good idea? You stupid. What?
Goodbye for now.
Removed from the game, then deleted all the files altogether for reasons that can never fully be explained. This was the same move that alienated a huge portion of their player base. Bungie removed content from the game that players had paid for, claiming that they needed to do it
Magneto
to get more
raised me to
memory
never
space
stop
for future
fighting for what
expansions.
I
And I'll be
believe is
honest with
right.
you guys, as a player who owned that content, there is nothing more satisfying than watching this come back to bite them in the ass. And now here we are in 2025, and Bungie has still not learned their
30
lessons.
seconds before you attack.
Nobody
Get ready.
wants to look at this. This is weird, bro. Like, look at this. This is so stupid.
My
Like,
people
who
look
does this
forward to
appeal
becoming
Too bad I can't have you in my realm,
gross,
little
man.
king.
My soul is expected by my ancestors, the
Ew.
Kajaliot.
Marilyn Manson?
Flinch with
No,
blast.
that's not true. Bro, Marilyn Manson in like the 90s.
Jalia.
I'm not gay, but
The
he was
battle
a really
starts in
good actor.
5, 4, 3,
He was a
2,
really good looking
1.
guy.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
User and artist N2, also known as Anti-Real or at Anti-Real in lead speak, has called them out once again, this time for lifting their artwork and using it without permission in Marathon's alpha. These accusations aren't vague, they were direct, specific, and backed up with visual evidence. On Twitter, they shared images and wrote, Marathon Alpha released recently, and its environments are covered with assets listed in posters and
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I have refined for the last decade. But clearly my work is good enough to
Now,
pillage
a
for ideas and
disappearing
plaster all over their game without any pay or attribution.
This is
Together
also
to
after they
victory!
said that it was all a mistake. Bungie says this is a mistake. After people, including the person
Mission area is yours.
has followed this individual for a long period of time,
Be right back.
predating this event.
Victory!
I have lost count of how many times the company has indicated pay a designer to steal my work rather than to write me an email. In 10 years, I've never made a consistent income from my work, and I'm tired of designers.
You know what I
You're
find
not
to be
going anywhere.
weird about that is that I bet paying some random cover artist would have been the design. I think
It's clobbering time!
what you know is an industry
Chaos control.
like it's really you're paying more to get a knockoff version of something than just buying the real thing.
Company boarding and parasiting my designs while I struggle to deliver. Another Twitter user pointed out that Joseph Cross, the art director at
captured more than
Bungie,
half
follows
of the mission
Anti-Real
area.
on Twitter,
Keep
and
going.
yes, there might be a connection. The argument responded saying he's followed me for a few years and a few others from Bungie. and never heard
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Fabricating statements like, I'm completely floored. This is my full-time job.
Insane fake quote.
Where did they all go?
desperate.
They sell these posters online. They're not obscure. A major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate, trace, than license or commission the work.
Ready to help.
This didn't come from the artist, and using fake quotes to farm clicks on top of an artist that's already being
If you're fake quoting somebody for something that they said,
Enemy located.
like, you do not hate journalism.
Together to victory!
This is real firepower!
Invisible?
decided they were to work with Rupa Hawk, a brand and design agency that Bungie had brought on for development ideas, custom typography, and ARG campaigns for
Grace
Marathon.
us with
It's almost
victory!
feels like a preemptive PR buffer, as if they know that these accusations might start to surface.
Judge,
Preparing to
jury,
have
executioner!
real here. These third-party agencies are just as real. Bungie uses them because they know they don't remember their name.
Their team's
Public
capture
backlash
progress
hits
has
Bungie,
passed
but
the
the legal
halfway point.
and creative blame will just get pushed onto somebody else. Bungie writes the checks when they get caught, and the key word there is when, because these are only the cases that made it to public attention. How many other
turret should be
never got
outlawed,
noticed?
Frank.
Yeah, what do you think the odds are that the only cases of stealing art
Feeling
were
stronger
the ones
already.
that were discovered?
The denominator here in every single one of these situations isn't the freelancers or third-party vendors, it's Bungie. So why does this keep happening? Why?
All of these people, but you keep getting the same result.
Together to victory!
You're not going anywhere.
Do they keep doing this? Well, that's because they just don't have the time or the talent anymore.
This is real firepower!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Mounting ever since they acquired Bungie in 2022, they simply do not have the same creative force behind their projects anymore. They are rushing marathons of content out the door, deadlines to release.
So
When
that's
time
fine.
runs out, creativity is thin, people take shortcuts. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense because Marathon feels like a game that's being shoved out the door, ready or not. Bungie has done almost nothing to engage with their audience before the release of the closed alpha, and then their entire
Another epic victory!
The initial teaser has to be going.
Actually, the initial video marathon was kind of cool. I was a little bit excited for it. And everything after that, I mean, the vibe of it originally like was kind of good, but then when they started showing the characters and everything, bro, it was cooked. It was cooked.
In the cinematic trailer, people like the game.
And the advertising is good advertising. Well, you know who says that? A person who doesn't work in advertising. How'd that work for Concord?
The elements and the visual direction, but the gameplay trailer absolutely tanked. As the time of this writing, it has 24,000 dislikes. Most of the
Jesus.
comments are flaming the game. They've also delivered nothing but mixed messaging. They told Destiny 2 PvE players that Marathon isn't
Jesus.
for them, despite the fact that it's their loyalty, time, and spending that funded Bungie's.
Well, this might be something like I remember everything as usual. Do you remember when Bungie, after a while, and they focus tested Marathon around a bunch of like Escape from Tarkov streamers, and all of the Escape from Tarkov streamers said like, yeah, we don't really think this game is very good.
Pick your
And
hero.
then like 2
or
months
villain.
later,
I'm
they
not
were like
judging.
releasing it. Remember that? Yeah. They all hated it. Yep.
projects in the first place. Instead of honoring their core audience, they are chasing
Those
a
who
new one,
oppose me
one they
shall
don't
be
even
left to
understand
drown
in a
in-
genre that
Those
they've
who
never even
oppose me shall be
developed
left to
before.
drown
It's
in
yet
my
another
way.
case of the studio abandoning what made them successful in favor of mimicking what's trendy. And honestly, what else would a mimic do other than copy everything else around it? We are going to see a lot
don't
more
have
of this. A lot more.
I have
All
made
these
my
companies
share
that
of
are complaining
mistakes,
about rising
but I
development
am
costs, all
fighting
these
every
layoffs
day
that we've
to
seen,
make amends.
that is all pressure that is being laid on top of these designers and artists. And
That's
the
right.
more that they have them making these cookie cutter games, these copy
30
paste
seconds before you
projects,
attack.
less
Get
time
ready.
and resources and experience they have to be able to make anything, the less creative freedom they have, well, the more likely they are to start cutting
such a
corners.
huge star.
And part of that is because they're trying to save time more than anything else, but the other part of it is they just don't care. That's why you see stuff like this. We see this with workers that are just throwing it in for a paycheck. Because they feel
battle
like they're
starts
forced
in
to do the
5,
work, because they feel
4,
totally uninspired by
3,
it, because they're not being
2,
led properly.
1.
And as a result, you
All
get
you need to
something
do
that
is
is
capture the mission
uninspired,
area.
and you get
Got it?
something that most of the times ends up being plagiarized.
Soon.
Goodbye for now.
Here they come!
You're not going anywhere. Stay away from the nest.
Same thing. Game
Fear
journalism
that
is going to the same thing.
Mission area is yours to capture
Reached
now.
out to me and they said, you have no idea how bad it is for us right now. All of these companies have basically made it where, you know, we have put out 50 articles a week. You can only talk about very specific games, only the biggest games, and you can only write about it in a very specific way. And that's the reason why
Mission
we get a
area
lot of the
is
writing.
yours.
Yes.
And I think that's a fitting description for what Marathon is, because they're under those exact same pressures, that exact same situation right now, where they're being forced to make a game that I don't think that they actually want to make. Sure, there's probably other people that are there that are all about it.
The end has
Not
come.
entirely
But just for you.
and people don't realize, I don't think they're taking it seriously, that if Bungie does not deliver with Marathon, they are done. This is the only thing they have left for them. Because
Do not let them claim
I
victory.
think that Bungie's got another one, even if it fails, because of how much studio, like value they've built up over the years. I think that they've got another one in them. They can make Destiny
That really
3.
helped.
But if Destiny 3 fails, then
Admit
yeah,
it.
they're
You need me.
like, you usually don't get cooked with one game. You get cooked with like
Goodbye.
two and a half to 3.5 games.
Sony has
You
invested
captured
so
more
much
than
money
half of the mission area. Keep going.
They are desperate for a live service hit. And if
under my
Bungie's not the one to give it to them, that's not going to work out. They have wasted billions of dollars at this point trying to get their own live service. And I played Marathon. It's not it. With better competition that's out on the market, better competition that's right around the corner, that's delivered an alpha at the same time as yours,
Light
it's just
doesn't
not going to
dispel
work out. This
darkness.
is going to be a
It helps me
last-ditch
see
effort,
the darkness
a Hail
and
Mary
face it.
with nobody there to catch it. Now, in a lot of cases, when I'm feeling
Here they
off
are.
about a game, whether it's from the previews
The
or
area's
the early
almost
footage, I
yours.
tend to second-guess myself. Maybe I'm being overly critical. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. Maybe I just need to get hands-on with it to see the full picture. Then I played Marathon and Arc Raiders, and now
Just embrace the light.
Let's pop back up under their noses. Together to
Light on the
victory!
sun.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Never miss! Behold the god of thunder!
I usually don't.
I was being Marathon. Let me just go ahead and throw a flag on the play right now and say it outright. Marathon is one step further from that. The only thing that this game has going for it is the Marathon name and its wildly interesting universe. Beyond that, this is one of the most blatant, uninspired, trend-chasing, corporate pasteboard games that I have ever touched.
You guys watch that gameplay? Like, go back and watch this gameplay again.
Blatant, uninspired, trend-chasing, corporate pasteboard games that I have
Light can heal and light can
going
harm.
for it is the
Sing
Marathon
with
name
me.
in a wildly interesting universe. Beyond that, this is one of the most blatant, uninspired, trend-chasing corporate pasteboard games that I have ever touched. I would go as far to say that Dragon Age
30
and
seconds
Veilguard
before you
had more
attack.
flavor than
Get ready.
Marathon. This is factory stuff.
Every time I see you, I think to myself, as long as Spider-Man is still around, everything will be all right.
Because Dragon Age Veilguard was at least Rainbow
I don't mean it that
Server.
way. You
This
just
is
mean a
just
lot to
plain
a lot of
Yoshi.
people.
Seals boredom. There is no
Battle
in
starts in
this game
5,
that stands out. Not
4,
one mechanic, not
3,
one system, not one
2,
moment where I sat back and
1.
thought to myself, damn.
All you need to do is
Made
capture the
Marathon
mission area.
special. They
Got
took
it?
the basic template of an
My time to
extraction shooter,
shine.
filled it with loot that you don't even care about, slapped on some faction rep grinds for the illusion of depth, jammed in some Apex Legends hero abilities, copied on Destiny 2's gunplay, and dropped it all into a flat, lifeless world where everything was the same. And when I say everything was the same, I mean the environment was so
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
I wish I actually had more to tell you guys on the gameplay loop, but I was mentally checked out within 10 minutes.
Capture the
firing this
mission
game up.
area.
The matches felt
time to
empty.
shine.
The tutorial was like an afterthought. There was no pressure, no tension, no reason to care. It's the kind of game that you forget the moment that you close it. If you even
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon!
Extraction shooters, by definition, are closed. You're never going to have an extraction shooter game that's going to have a
Lights out. Suffering the darkness.
Easily wounded.
It's never going to be massively appealing to an average player because average players don't have that amount of time to invest in.
I'll go for here. Need some help. Thanks so much. I'm trying to help.
Arc Raiders is going to be a popular game, and I'm sure people will play it at the beginning, but I think it will level off.
The moon haunts you.
Narrow but dedicated audience is great, but whenever you're a studio like
Us against the world.
you're
chicken
so
soup.
big, you have to target a mainstream audience than just like a very small amount of people like that.
can make it that
My
far.
time to shine.
And I am not the only one that feels this way. A former Bungie designer, Vince, who now goes by Fractal Grove on YouTube, specifically called out Bungie's art direction. He pointed out the overuse of cool colors, especially blue tints, and explained how
Us against the world.
aggressive red,
Your team's capture progress is past the halfway point.
excitement, Color Fury 101. This is ancient art direction. And
Thanks so much.
I feel like
Behold the god of thunder!
continually has the same theme constantly. Lights out.
My time to shine.
Right? They made Halo. Think about how much different Truth and Reconciliation was than, I don't know, the maps in...
Half of the mission area.
I mean, I
Keep
think
going.
that's all part of the same level. Like, for that example, or like the last level
My
in the
time
game,
to shine.
right? Pillar of Autumn, yeah, exactly. Silent Cartographer, yeah, like
I am
it's
ready to
totally,
put on a
totally
show.
different spectacle, right? Totally different game, and like the vibes. Like the thing is that, like if you look
Anything
at
could
this,
hurt me. A nice deep freeze.
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a
My time to shine. You only one. Fury is almost yours. Us against the world.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
like, do you remember driving across the bridge?
There's an out.
Like the light on the bridge on the
The moon!
Just keep going.
It's still good. Yeah, no, it's still good. That's what's crazy about it. Is it is still good, even now. That's the
Another epic victory.
art direction. Is it these games had insane art direction, and also, by the way, back then, the graphics for this game were next level. Like Halo for its time, the graphics were fucking insane.
Marathon for me was just general whiplash. It's the same thing that I felt going from Baldur's Gate 3 to Starfield, from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to Avowed. It's that sense of expectation crash, that realization that you're playing something with no soul after coming from something that was brimming with it.
Yeah.
Because just before I
The
got
right
into
heroes
Marathon,
could make
I played
all
Arc
the
Raiders,
difference.
and that
You don't have to be a witch
gets
to
me.
find the
The moment
magic
you
in
step
this
into the
world.
world, it commands
it
your
does help.
attention. It is so breathtakingly beautiful. The
It
lighting,
looks good. It just looks good. That's it.
the detail, the sound design, it all works here. You feel like an explorer that is cautiously surfacing to this
I will
hostile
bring
world.
peace to this
The sound
universe,
alone
no matter the
becomes a
cost.
mechanic. You crouch, listen, stop. You can hear these arc machines before you even see them, and you're avoiding fights because you don't want to blow your cover. That tension is constantly building with every single item that you collect. You're calculating your risk.
I will leave this universe a better place than it was before I was created.
Flock of birds, and your position is blown. You jump, you panic, you play
They'll be
it
coming in
smart
30
because the game
seconds.
is
Stay
pushing you
strong.
to. And Arc Raiders actually understands the audience that it's going for. It's an
You
extraction
shine
fighter.
like
The
a
thing is that
diamond,
Arc Raiders,
but your soul
I
is
think,
so
like, again, like I watched
empty.
a little bit of other people play it. I didn't play it myself. I think a lot of games are trying to recapture that
If we aren't strong within,
vibe that the
even the
original
toughest
PUBG
surface
had.
begins to show its cracks.
Because
battle
like, there was
starts
a
in 5,
vibe that the original,
3,
you know, like
2,
first
1.
match, third person
You have to
PUBG
stop that from securing the mission
that
area.
I feel like no other VR has been able to capture. Tarkov, I just can't comment.
For the big core crowd, and it Cosmos heals you.
After my steps.
Dismantle and shield you. Make room for more heroes. Yes, unlike Marathon, Arc Raiders have proximity chat. Embark does the thing that they need to insulate their players from one another for safety.
Quantum proximity chat because they're worried about shooting. Remember what I was saying before about like
Needed that boost. I am at your service. Healing power. Noel's followers are the embodiment of evil. We shall restore the light as for soul. No matter the cost.
We can't risk losing our advantage here. Not understand the quantum magic. And you know, that's my experience with it. I went into a marathon.
Feel better
I didn't
already.
have any ammo with me. I got into a firefight, used all the rounds that were like that, and I bluffed my way out of it.
The
by
Cosmos
role-playing
heals
as a grizzly man with a southern tone for some reason. I have the meds and the rounds to do this all day. Walk away and I'll let you off. And for whatever reason, the other player
I require some aid.
didn't walk away. Funny enough, I bumped into somebody else at the extraction point, and I just told them to
Don't
go
take that
out.
fire
I have no
bomb.
just trying to get my
I am
quest
at your
back.
service.
They let me extract, and we ended up joining up to play that round together. That's what you get.
After my steps.
People play this emergent story player agency. Memorable moment.
Unite.
Cosmos heals the isolated in a world that's designed to be antisocial. It's ironic. Bungie helped define cooperative multiplayer in the modern era. They're the
No.
The Cosmos heals you.
Bungie
Almost bowed
brought
out.
cooperative online multiplayer to the mainstream audiences for Halo 2. Halo 2
It's spider time!
You belong to me!
that was it. Like, you had people playing CS on PC.
Born again! Your powers are mine!
Bless my
Like, that
soul.
was it, bro. Like, Halo 3.
You get a-
No,
I am
Halo
born
3
anew.
Halo 3 refined it. But, like, think about that. In 2004, because Halo 2 came out in November 2004. Back then, even people were playing online. That's insane.
We have no choice.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
ones that pretty much gave us land parties for the most part. Cosmos heals. Which made the game constantly suppressing that connection.
Better stop that vehicle!
Volume. And it's because Marathon isn't a lot of integration or iteration of a
I feel better already.
monetization system. It exists to chase trends. It exists to
Quantum magic.
exists to sell.
This time I need healing.
Bungie our studios right now. Yes, Dark Raiders, the finals are live service games, but they feel like games first. Even the finals brought something fresh. Healing
These robotic spiders could be
that use live service systems that are unfun. Live service is never the problem. It's never been the problem. The problem is that
Destiny.
It wasn't Overwatch, it wasn't another Call of Duty clone.
There's nothing I can't fix.
The game is definitely not topping the Steam charts, but you can
I'll patch you up.
find players
Just
that
this is a nice spot.
Marathons won't earn a thing.
We got company. Buy good deeds for the
doing
day.
right now, iterating on monetization, not on gameplay. They're not refining systems, they're refining
lunatic makes
storefronts.
exploring
They don't
spiders.
care if the experience is good.
You're
They care
ready
if
for
it's
it.
grinding, spending, and logging in. I swear, I'm gonna start making you that play after this one. When you forget about the players, they forget about you. They already
gone now.
Both Marathon and Arc Raiders had their limited close access tests at the exact same time. Bungie
You're
could
welcome.
not keep players in the game. Meanwhile, Arc Raiders
Marathon's winning. See, it has one player.
Your powers are mine! This is real firepower!
It's spider time!
Born again!
Vibe shift in the gaming community is loud and clear. No one is interested in Marathon. That is not a good sign for Bungie, especially when you consider how niche this genre already is. By design are not built for massive builds. They are punishing high stakes and time insensitive games. Not for casual
I'll
audiences
patch you up.
who do not have
That
a
was
lot of
fine,
time
but thank
already
you.
and just want to have fun. Yet here we are watching major studios throw their entire futures into this space, convinced they have found the best.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Completely delusional.
The characters.
Again!
You don't do that unless
launch
you're
it
a
again.
retard. It's actually that simple.
My health is low.
Need some healing.
Yeah, I mean, like, really. Like,
I'll patch you up.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
can't
much
even figure out the
power.
characters. You can't even
Time
make
to
the
use
characters look appealing.
I've reached.
That is not that level.
Here's how you shoot.
I was fine, but thank you.
That's a pain to bad guys. You're ready for action.
People hated on me. Everybody
Yeah, does this one.
the big videos that they did came out, and I said that the game was garbage.
Someone scratch my back.
And everybody was mad at me, and they said I was a boomer, and I
You're
was
welcome.
like, you know, like a weirdo, creep, and everything.
You stopped them in their tracks.
Can someone exterminate these robotic pests?
I'll patch you up. This is real firepower. See, I'm fucking helpful. I'll patch you up. Hawkeye's down. Dibs on the boomerang again. Things are gonna be different this time.
Not just because the game is fun, but because the team behind it is clearly smarter with their budget and more grounded in
It's now
their
or never.
expectations.
Stop
The finals reportedly cost less than $100 million
mind me.
for them to make.
I'm
and there's
just
no
dying.
way that Arc Raiders blew past that number by much.
You're welcome.
Being
Needed that.
focused and built
Armor
players
patch
here.
who are actually going to play it. But even still, I
some
don't
sort of
see the
spider
appeal
nest.
here for the big
Gross.
players. This is a genre that has a ceiling. Most casual players are not going to be
Don't give
signing
them
up
another
to jump
hint.
on in a high-stakes PvEVP gauntlet. They do not want to spend hours buying materials, building up gear, planning
Leave them to
big
Khonshu.
encounters, only to get
See, I'm fucking
Playing
helpful.
extraction shooter, and then I lose my strength. I don't want to play him.
Stop them in their tracks.
That's it. I just
You're
don't wanna do
welcome.
that. Even if
This
it's my
deserves your
fault.
attention.
Like, I don't really care. I just would rather do something
Team
else
play.
with my time.
That's me.
Like, that's getting kind of PUBG. Well, no, because each thing in PUBG was that
you up.
Like each game was specific.
Need some healing.
Yeah, Helldivers 2 did a great job catering to casual players. Yeah, and it was just a waste of time. Yeah, like for me, I feel like when I can't make progress in a game,
That's me.
and especially like for me, it's like losing progress.
You're welcome. This is real firepower.
You belong to me! It's exciting time!
I'll patch you up. More bad guys. Just
You're welcome. Genre is considered a success and a gold standard for it, but he's at around 100,000 players a day. That's impressive for a hardcore niche title, but it's not. They want to build a $300 million live service behemoth. These studios think they can expand their audience by softening the edges of these games and making the experience a bit more casual, but by
That does the opposite effect.
doing so, they're missing the point because the very
The final 10 seconds!
Lost is the point. People play
born again.
We'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Assassin's Creed lost its way without
I'm fucking helpful. Your powers are mine.
don't translate well when you strip them down.
Another epic victory!
No audience at all. And I think that's the real tragedy for Marathon. Not that it's just a bad game, but it's a bad game.
For example, Baldur's Gate 3. They doubled down on being a niche game, and it worked because it was a good game.
Born out of desperation. It's corporate wishful thinking and playable
Balatro is another good example. Very niche game.
form. A studio chasing a trend it doesn't even understand in a genre that was never built to carry that much weight. It's not the next big thing, and it never will be. They need to stop trying to make the next big thing, and they need to go back to making the thing that they think is cool. That's how this all started. That's where all of this came from. That is the reason why
You'll need
Bungie
a
left
top-notch team
Microsoft
to win
and
this
Xbox
one.
to begin with. They want.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help.
Oh, here we go. They're talking about it now, finally.
Sweet, addictive, and engineered to have an impact on the cognitive development of our children. But unlike sugar, these new technologies can be weaponized, shape beliefs, and sadly affect emotions and even be
30
deadly.
seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Over the past few months, I have met with brave survivors, deeply loving families, and caring advocates who know firsthand the emotional and psychological toll of NCII and deepfake abuse.
Yeah, it's underage girls having deepfakes made about them.
Stood boldly for change.
It's like crazy weird shit.
Despite the risk posed to her and her family by speaking out and making her voice heard. Aliston, your voice and the voices of so many like you made this bill a national priority. Many thanks to members of Congress, both parties, for passing this legislation, including Speaker Johnson, Senator Cruz, Senator Klobuchar, Congresswoman Salazar, Congresswoman Dean, and Congressman Guthrie, and so many more. Thank you all for coming together to prioritize people over politics.
Get that baby moving again.
Yeah, I honestly think this is a good thing.
As First Lady, my Be Bad initiative is focused on improving children's well-being, encouraging kindness, and creating a safer online environment for our youth. Today, I'm proud to say that the values of Be Best will be reflected in the law of the land. I want to thank my husband, President Trump, for standing with us on this effort. His signature on this new law is not where our work ends on this issue. Now we look to the Federal Trade Commission and the private sector to do their part. Today, through the Take It Down Act, we affirm that the well-being of our children is central to our future, of our families, and America. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the President. Thank you.
All right.
Great job. Well, I want to thank everybody. We just spent 2.5 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and I think some progress has been made. It's a terrible situation going on over there. 5,000 young people every single week are being killed. So hopefully we do something. We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up.
Fucking,
I'm ashamed that it ever started in the first place. So. But I want to thank Melania and for your leadership in this very important issue. It's an amazing issue. America is blessed to have such a dedicated and compassionate First Lady. I would tell you she is very dedicated. In fact, if you look at just what I heard, Putin just said they respect your wife a lot. I said, what about me? You know, they're like Melania's brother. That wasn't good. I don't know if that was good. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I also want to congratulate the First Lady in securing $25 million in the first fiscal year 2026 budget to provide housing and support for youth transitioning out of the foster care. And I can say that she loves children, and you really worked very hard on this, and you had a lot of help from some friends of mine right here, and a lot of the senators are here and congressmen, and I appreciate you all being here. We're also grateful to be joined by people that are just in level with what we're doing. It's such an important situation, and commissioners of the Federal Trade Commission and the CEO of X, Linda Yacarino. Where are you, Linda? Where are you, Linda? Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
She's the one from Twitter.
Great job.
I know her.
Doing a great job. It's a big deal, right? That's great. Today, it's my honor to officially sign the Take It Down Act into law.
X.
Very important. So horrible takes place. This will be the first ever federal law to combat the distribution of explicit, imaginary, posted without subjects' consent, take horrible pictures, and I guess sometimes even make up the pictures, and they're posted without consent or anything else. And very importantly, it includes for forgeries generated by artificial intelligence known as deepfakes. We've all heard about deepfakes. I have all the time, but I don't remember anything. I asked Pam, can you help me, Pam? She says, no, I'm too busy. Too busy doing other things. Don't worry, you'll survive. But a lot of people don't survive. That's true, and so horrible. With the rise of AI image generation, countless women have been harassed with deepfakes and other explicit images distributed against their will. This is the wrong, and it's just so horribly wrong. And it's a very abusive situation, like in some cases people have never seen before. And today we're making it totally illegal. Thank you. Upon hearing the stories of so many women affected, our First Lady made stopping these abuses a top priority, and she was given tremendous support because she'd go up to people and talk about it. They say, yeah, we know about it. We have the problem. Can we do something? And she did something about it with the help of a lot of the people, especially the political people sitting here today. Among Melania's guests in the gallery during my address to the joint session of Congress was a 15-year-old young person, Elliston Berry, whose image was turned into an illicit deepfake by a peer. Ellison, where are you? Are you around? Stand up, darling. That's fine. Beautiful. Great. Thank you. That's fantastic. Ellison quickly became a powerful advocate committed to preventing other girls from suffering the same abuse. Ellison, we salute you and we thank you very much, and it's an honor to have you with us today. Great job you've done.
Why is he orange?
Also with us are several
It's
other
just how he is,
Americans
guys.
whose lives were rocked by online harassment, including
the way it is.
Francesca Manny, as well as a South Carolina State Representative, Brandon Guffey, and his family, who lost their son to suicide after he was targeted in an internet
mainly for underage
extortion
people.
scam, of which you have a lot
You're
of them.
not going anywhere.
A lot.
It's
I
not.
want to thank you both
not
for
just
your
like-
incredible work and to reach this important date.
But just
Stand up,
deepfakes in
please?
general. It's for
Thank you.
minors. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great job. I've read about it. Thank you very much. It's a real honor to have you here. Because there's no place like the White House, I found out.
Like the
You know,
Vandy?
a lot of
Yeah.
places, and I just left some of the richest places, and we love them, and they gave us a nice contribution of about $5 trillion. But
That's a lot of money.
This is a special place. Even they talk about it, so it's great to have everybody here. Under the law, I will sign in just a moment. Anyone who intentionally distributes explicit images without the subject's consent will face up to 3 years in prison. In addition, this law establishes new civil liabilities for online platforms that refuse to take these images down promptly upon request. We will not
See, that's the
tolerate
big thing.
online sexual exploitation, and especially it's gone on at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's getting worse and worse, and I
It's the
think this is
platforms
gonna
that are at fault.
hopefully stop it. And they're not easy to do. People talk about all sorts of First Amendment, Second Amendment. They talked about any amendment they could make up, and we got it through because of some very brave people, including some very brave politicians in the audience. I want to thank the bill sponsor, Senator Ted Cruz. Ted, stand up, please.
Where's Ted? Where's old Ted?
That's right. Okay, thank you, Ted. That's great. Very effective person. And Congresswoman Maria
Very orange
Salazar,
today?
friend of mine.
No, he's
Thank
not
you,
that
Ted.
orange. He's
Thank
growing
you
on.
very much for their amazing work, and thanks also to the 99 senators and 408 members of Congress who voted in favor of the bill. Wow, I wish we could get that vote from other things. We have another bill coming up. Do you think we'll get that vote? Maybe not. We should, but we probably won't. But working with our First Lady has shown that
He just says whatever the fuck.
is still possible. That's true.
Yeah.
99 senators. That's incredible. Senators
Just says whatever the fuck, bro. Like,
the senators, this is big stuff. I'm in trouble because
are there any teleprompters?
they didn't give me these names.
Oh,
We have so many
shit.
half of the Senate here. Now they're all gonna hate me because I can't introduce you. Oh, we don't have time for that. I have to get back to putting in people. But thank you very much for being here. Your powers are in Congress and women. Working with our First Lady, we've shown that bipartisanship is possible. I mean, it's the first time I've seen such a level of bipartisanship, and it's a beautiful thing to do. I'm not even sure you realize, honey, you know, a lot of the Democrats and Republicans don't get along so well. You've made them get along, and she didn't even know about that. She didn't know we had a problem. She didn't know we had a problem. She got it. But I want to thank you, honey. You've done amazing that this was done when you started it. I said, I don't know, it sounds like a tough one, and yet a very important one, and we got it done. So I congratulate you, and I congratulate Ted, Maria, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, and we'll sign the bill. Thank you.
wow. You jabbered it, Aaron?
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Content president. Let's go. Oh, there's Ted. God damn. I didn't even notice him with the sunglasses on. Oh, that's what deepfake porn is now illegal. It's mainly about underage people, if I remember reading the bill. That's the main thing. I mean, it's not about like deepfakes in general. It's just the underage shit.
have it. There we are. That's a big one.
Wow.
Thank you very much, everyone. And you have some pens here. You most importantly, right? Oh, look at these white pens. I've never seen that before. I want one of them. I've never seen them. Here, Pamela, take that.
Oh my God. Is that a first? Yeah, I guess so, right? Not deepfakes, non-consensual. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to take it all down, but I think especially on like big social media websites, it'll be easier for them to do. Like, there's always gonna be like weird websites where like this stuff is gonna exist, but you know, making sure that it's not like on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. That's the main thing, right? Yeah, that's the big one. Man, it's true as mainstream websites. Yeah, exactly. It's hard work, but necessary. Yep. A lot of the people that are making like negative comments about Joe Biden having cancer, you just look like an asshole. It's an 83-year-old man that clearly has cognitive decline, halfway in the grave already. You're like grave dancing. Like, what are you doing?
Making fun of cancer is disgusting. Also, nobody's making fun of cancer. We're all on cancer's side here. Against Biden, no one's making fun of the cancer here. We're making fun of Genocide Joe. Realign your priorities, man.
The MSM is already laundering the reputation of a war criminal who oversaw the genocide of Palestinians, whose selfish nature allowed Trump to win a second term. Joe Biden is an awful monster. Prostate cancer doesn't change that. I mean, for people that are so focused on optics, somehow end up always looking like assholes. These are on the tolerant left. Yeah, it's like, the thing is, he's going to be dead, so it doesn't matter what he did, right? I mean, that's it. That's it. It doesn't matter. It's over. Literally, it's fucking over. It's like, really, did Trump comment on it? He did. I'll read what Trump said. Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery. Let's see here. He ain't recovering. I don't know if he is or not. I'll watch this short video about this.
Very unlikely that someone could get annual checkups and not notice a PSA elevation over the past, you know, this is what I typically would see in a VA hospital, where a patient hasn't had medical attention in 10 years, presents to an emergency room with bone pain, and then they find that it's metastatic prostate cancer. But in the modern age of medicine, especially the fact that he was a former president, he had intensive, state-of-the-art, you know, care where we can see prostate cancer, you know, 10 years in the past. So this is, I mean, it's very unusual to hear that someone has prostate cancer where they're annually being followed up. And the fact that
odds are it's probably a lot more than annual if you're the president and you're over 80 years old, right? I mean, what do you really think they're only doing it once a year? Like, come on.
We just find it at a Gleason 9 is just pretty much unheard of in this day and age of medicine. Even in the, you know, even in the inner city populations, we wouldn't see it.
So you're saying even in a medically neglected population, it would be surprising to have a surprise diagnosis with a Gleason score of 9. So you're saying that certainly as he was serving in the Oval Office, you believe that he knew that he had prostate cancer, and even potentially as he was running in 2020 before he assumed office?
Well, most likely he had prostate cancer for a long time, and the aggressive prostate cancer such as this at age 80 grows over a long period of time. I mean, usually...
Yeah, there's a lot of people like, this is what my dad told me at least, is that there's guys that get prostate cancer and the doctor's like, you're gonna die from something else anyway, don't worry about it.
Takes from the first diagnosis of prostate cancer to spread would take 5 to 10 years, even in the most aggressive form. It's just, to me, it seems very surprising that the first diagnosis would be a metastatic diagnosis, especially Gleason 9 cancer, without you know, having his PSA history. I mean, I would like him to get you know, to release the PSA history right now to see what it was. I mean, I'm talking from an area of kind of not as much information as I would like to have.
And it is not. It is not standard. We were looking for PSA score to be released as part of these public.
Who the fuck cares about this? They covered up dementia, which is 10 times worse. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess, I mean, they're both bad. I mean, I think really the reason why people care is that it is more evidence that points in the same direction, that it is very obvious that there was problems with this guy, and the entire media apparatus, as well as the government, actively tried to pretend like there wasn't. I think that's really where the conversation is. That's what's really going on here. So this is like, it's not that this is the whole graph, but this is just another point on the graph. And the line is still going in the exact same direction.
Mental health reports. We didn't get Trump's most recently either. I want to ask very quickly, so much has been made of his apparent cognitive decline. Is there a possibility that either the cancer itself or treatments he was undergoing in secret could affect cognitive function of a person?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what happens is when prostate cancer becomes, like, say you get treated for prostate cancer and then the prostate cancer recurs, what you would do is you would start someone on a kind of a testosterone blocking hormone such as Lupron, and because Lupron acts to lower your testosterone, it gives you kind of like symptoms of depression, lower energy, fatigue. So there's a lot.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
There are things that go with being on Lupron treatment. So Lupron is a class of medicine that just castrates, chemically castrates someone so that the prostate cancer doesn't spread. And so Lupron was likely used in Joe Biden.
So to be very clear, you believe he was silently, secretly battling this for at least 5 years?
Well, I think that's yet to be seen. I mean, it would be very surprising, like I said earlier, for him to...
I don't know. Would the group of people that hid other medical realities also hide a medical reality? Ah, jeez, dude, I wonder. Ah, man, who knows?
Have prostate cancer at least a 9 spread to bone without without being neglected medically. So the fact that he was seen medically every year, it's just very surprising. I mean, his PSA must be over 50 at this point, if not a lot more, just because of bone mets, is a sign that it's very aggressive and spreading to other parts of
somebody says there's no way therapy for prostate cancer induces dementia. It's not possible. Nobody said that. You're missing the point completely.
Body. So I think there's definitely evidence that he probably knew about this for a while.
Yeah, let's see if there's any more information about this, etc. And cancer, he posted about it as well. Cancer touches us all. So there's many of you who are in the strongest and broken places. Thank you for lifting us up and the support. I hope now they can leave this man alone. Just let him fucking retire. Stop trying to drag him out to say that Donald Trump is bad. Like, just give him a fucking break, man. Yeah, holy shit. And let him die. Yes, let him retire. He's got a very small amount of time left, probably. Like, just let the guy fucking rest. Holy shit. The cat's big mad. The cat is mad, bro. Look at the cat. God damn. The cat knows, bro. He's been mad as fuck. Yeah, everybody else is posting. Cynical thing I've seen in American politics. Truly, Biden is stage 4 cancer is though in hell. They just caught it now. Yeah, they knew. They didn't want to say it. The same as they knew that his brain was fried. And Buffett, yeah, it's really, really fucking sad, man. It's awful. And it's also really funny for me to see that, a lot of people, like all of the, even people that disagree with them, etc., are generally pretty positive about it. And then you have a handful of people that are, what do you call it?
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting.
Now, do you know where, as far as I know, both of these people are right now?
Yeah. United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part
Because
about
CNN,
a meeting
not
with
anymore.
President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden's vision, he has knowledge, he has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinker.
Isn't it crazy that, like, one of the main Democrats is this crazy fucking, like, 85-year-old woman that apparently gets drunk on plane rides and has more plastic surgery than Madonna and dyes her hair so she looks like a 30-year-old lizard? Like, it is really kind of fucking funny. Bro, and she's still, like, I mean, you, and again, it's like, you know, if you ever try to, like, you know, hit a roach or something, or cut a roach in half, and then the roach is still going after the roach is cut in half, like, you gotta admire the will to survive. Like, I admire this, bro. Like, she does not give up, bro. She's fucking multi-millionaire. Yeah, they even had, she is so far, like, in the game that they actually are making an act against her about, like, I think it's like insider trading or something like that. Is she really 85? Yep, 85 years old.
I met with the president.
Yep, she's older than Bernie Sanders. Keep that in mind.
6 weeks ago for the same fine debate.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet him, he is just fine.
But he is, again...
What if the truth is that actually all of them are telling the truth, and they all think Joe Biden is smart, and it's because they're all also retarded? Because they could all be retarded, so it's like, you know, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So what if, yeah, I mean, like, that could also be the case too.
Knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things. There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
Aha!
He's wise. Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience.
And his experience, because of his age and his wisdom, has been invaluable
It's
to
actually
the...
true. I heard he actually got PTSD from seeing the assassination of Trump. It reminded him of, you know, when it happened to Abraham Lincoln, and also whenever he was there and happened previously to Caesar.
This country.
A lot of countries, people who've been in office a longer period of time are praised for their wisdom.
I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
It is hard for us to keep up with this president.
His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
And this kind of sense that he's not ready for this job is just a bucket of BS that's so deep, your boots will get stuck in.
What do you think the odds are that they just found out that he had cancer 2 days ago? Yesterday. You know, like, what do you think the odds are, right? I mean, we're really trying to act like this is the possibility. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it's not. Like, I did see this. This was... so I thought this was funny.
Damn you! You think you can just back out because you're scared? Kuwabara, this place is for mourning. I'm not gonna leave. Not until he comes out of here and lets me fight him.
He can't do that.
I'm gonna beat you down, you punk! You hear me? Who do you think you are, huh? Dirty punk! Who am I gonna fight now? Who am I gonna fight?
He's gone.
No! You're supposed to be here for me.
The funniest thing about this is that there's a certain amount of this that's actually very endearing. Like, I don't know what there is about it, but like this is very endearing in a way, right?
Two,
Crying, yeah.
1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
And so it begins.
Ubisoft is planning to protect developers from harassment with Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Hope you guys have had a great weekend. We've got some hilarious news being reported here. Apparently Ubisoft is, as Pandar Hub says here in their tweet, preparing to curb the backlash against critics of Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're going as far as sending lawyers after you if they deem your criticism a targeted attack or harassment. My gosh, isn't that pathetic? They include this diagram. Let's check this out.
Yes, let's read it.
Ubisoft prepares an anti-harassment plan to target critics. News, according to BFM TV. An extreme and stressful situation that Ubisoft prefers to anticipate. An anti-online harassment plan.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen with new games. This happens with all games nowadays. Ubisoft sore losers. Well, that's why they sent you a copy. Oh, so wait. Wouldn't that be entrapment?
You need to stop
Was
that
even
vehicle in
presented
its
to the
tracks.
CSE to accompany the game's release and protect employees. Quote, it's an initiative from Canada. There's a team that monitors networks and acts quickly in the event of a targeted attack.
Initiative from Canada.
Unquote, explains an elected official. Psychological and legal support is promised employees who are targeted. Another quote here, unlike what we've had before, this is serious.
Yeah, true.
Thus, messages posted by internet users on X, formerly Twitter, Reddit, or even videos on YouTube will be closely monitored by a dedicated unit in order to respond quickly to the slightest problem. Lawyers are already ready to file complaints in the event of proven harassment. So
The thing is that, and this is the problem that I have. In essence, I agree with this. I think that if you're harassing developers on a personal level because you don't like what's happening in a video game, you need to be put in a box because you're not ready for civil society. You're not ready to be in the real world. You need to be in a box, and that way you don't hurt yourself or hurt anybody else. But where do you draw the line here? Sounds like a sales pitch to their workforce. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and also, by the way, this really, it doesn't fill anybody, does it fill anybody with any confidence that they're saying, I don't know, I feel good. It's not so good, huh? Not so good. We have to define harassment. Yeah, if an employee is public, well, I think harassment is very simple, right? Harassment is when you make something personal, when you are attacking them in private channels. Like, for example, you know, you see a developer, you find out their phone number, and you're calling them. That, in my opinion, is uncivilized behavior that no one should be expected to tolerate. No one should tolerate that. You do that, that's harassment.
Be right back.
But saying that your game sucks dick on Twitter is not harassment. And hopefully it's not the truth either. I guess we're going to find out.
You've actually seen this sort of corpo jargon from various other corporations before as well.
Yeah.
And they seem to love loosely defining this stuff or like not defining it at all, right? Like oftentimes what they would call targeted harassment or attacks is like valid criticism against the game. And you would think this sort of corporate corruption.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all the time people conflate harassment with criticism in order to make people feel sorry for them, basically. I think that's effectively what happens in a lot of these cases.
Is something anyone would like get behind criticizing, right? Like this is not something that should be defended. However,
I'll give you an example. So an example of this is like that Matt Hansen guy from Obsidian. People were criticizing him and attacking him personally, but I think that all of that criticism was completely fair, and there's nothing wrong with it, because he's making personal statements on a public website. If you're making public statements on a public website, and then people come back and they say, "Wow, these statements are really stupid, and it sounds racist for you to say this," that's not harassment. It's not. At all. He came out was done publicly? Yeah, exactly.
Activist outlet The Gamer apparently is taking Ubisoft's side on this one.
Well, they
write,
to.
Ubisoft reportedly has a plan to protect devs from harassment when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches. With the bullet points. Ubisoft reportedly has a plan in place to protect devs from abuse after Assassin's Creed Shadows launches. Devs are apparently already being told to be cautious on social media, and Ubisoft is also said to be...
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I think that the video game industry has a huge problem of these like weird, like completely socially captured like identity politics zealots that are now in video games. And Ubisoft doesn't want to have like what happened to Obsidian happen to them. They don't want to have one or two of their employees that has like these extreme weird views go out and just start fucking saying this from the rooftops, and now everybody's mad they don't like your game. That's not just a video game industry? Yeah, but I'm talking about video game industry. When you put them in a box? Yeah, no, for sure. And one dude killed Avowed. Okay, but when will that put you in a box because you're talking about a game? Well, if you are invading a person's personal space and harassing and stalking them, and in some cases threatening them, this is something that doesn't have anything to do with video games. So criticism of a video game is very different than personal harassment. Like, it's that simple.
Collaborating with a Canadian government agency is combat online abuse. What? I think they meant to combat online abuse, not is combat online abuse, but who knows with these people.
Yeah.
Furthermore, they actually write, like the full article here, they say, it's hard to imagine that morale has been great for Ubisoft since Assassin's Creed Shadows revealed. The first trailer was released last spring, and since then the game has been hit with delays, and the studio has faced layoffs. But of course, the main story surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows is the backlash, as the anti-woke /DEI/whatever it's called now movement made the game's latest target. This was all because...
By the way, this isn't limited to games like AC Shadows. GGG dropped all communication because players went too far. Yeah, exactly. And this is and the problem is that this is so it's like that meme. The worst person you know made a great point. I think that's the situation here. I actually support Ubisoft in this, but the question is always to what extent will this be used?
One of the game's protagonists, while critics say that they take issue with Shadows returning Oscar Samurai, it doesn't take a lot of looking to find violently racist imagery and language being used towards the game and its depictions of its black protagonists. The backlash was intense with Elon Musk joining in on the hate. So, let's pause for a second. There's been a lot of critiques towards this game for various reasons, including even the architecture apparently being more Chinese than Japanese.
And it's not hate entirely. Like, there are some people that just disagree with you. Like, they might not like what you're doing. That's not necessarily hate. Can you clarify this situation with, like, Dragon Age Veilguard? Fall again, which game had senior devs getting on his soapbox? Do you think these scenarios are different or similar?
Much to do.
Sure. With Veilguard, any of the criticisms of the only person who was outspoken in Veilguard was Corinne Bush, which was the, like, one of the main directors of the game. And I never said that it's this person's fault. I never harassed them. I said they did a bad job because I think that they did. But other than that, who gives a fuck? I think that it's such an obvious difference whenever you're talking about harassment versus criticism.
including people who even tried the game out already, criticizing how clunky Yasuke felt to play, and or that he also just made combat way too easy, like easy mode. Those are just a few examples. But hey, to the activist over the gamer, of course they want to try and manipulate a narrative around the whole thing. I also love how journalists and other modern audience type people, etc., constantly try and act like DEI is something that like gamers made up, when we're just using the terms that corporate...
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I've noticed this a lot, is that they use DEI as if it's like this fake boogeyman, but they were the ones that, like, they created the term. Yeah, they created it themselves.
Literally made. You have literal corporations and government agencies using this term, and then when people start talking about it in the public, suddenly, oh, whatever they're saying, DEI, woke, whatever. It's like, bro, we're literally using the corporate terminology. And you would think that these activists of the gamer would agree to criticize corrupt actions from corporations, including this whole like new policy that Ubisoft is apparently implementing to protect Assassin's Creed Shadows from critiques. But no, to these activists, just because gamers are critiquing Ubisoft, they decide they want to take corporations, giant corporations. Yeah, wonderful activism, isn't it? Continuing, they say.
Well, it's now, because they're aligned with it, because the journalists get the same type of criticism as well. But a lot of these journalists do the same thing, is that they write articles that are misleading, slanderous, untrue, or just a lie in one way or another, and then they act like they're getting harassment when people are saying that you're a liar. That's what happens. I think that happens a lot. It's super common.
Another typo? What is this? Now it seems that Ubisoft, it prepared for this to even get worse at launch. As reported by Tech & Co., spotted by Reset Era user Arabedo, Ubisoft is said to have implemented a plan to protect its devs as we approach Shadow's
Big
launch.
plan.
This reportedly includes offering psychological and legal support and is part of the Canadian initiative against online abuse. Fortunately, this is something
why I don't want them to be a state.
Pick your
have to account for now. Of course, the attacks have been going on for some months now. We're advised not to post on social media that we work at Ubisoft to avoid harassment, says one Ubisoft worker quoted in the report. As part of this, Ubisoft is said to be working with the Canadian Communications Security Establishment and has drafted up a plan to combat harassment. It's an initiative from Canada. There's a team that monitors networks and acts quickly in the event of a target attack. Unlike what we've had before, this is serious. Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on March 20th. We'll have to wait and see where it lands with fans and critics.
Oh
you know,
my god.
Chaos surrounds
I just
us.
don't think the strategy of demonizing your audience is gonna work. I don't. I feel like that's a pretty bad way of doing things. And also the problem is that, see, this is the issue that I have with this. Because again, I support this in theory. But the problem is that the theory is very often not accurate. They're really saying someone called the cyber police? Yeah, can you even criticize it? Well, for me, yeah, of course. I mean, if I'll criticize it, I mean, like, if they sue me for harassment, then I'm going to live stream the trial, and I'll just, even if they get money out of me, I'll just make the money back with the live stream. It won't matter. It's not going to make won't make a difference. So, like, it doesn't matter. And also, I'm not even Canada. So yeah, it's not even that. So, and it's not like, and also this is another thing, if you're on the internet, like, what if some guy in fucking Ukraine says this? Like, are you gonna extradite some guy to Ukraine and sue them? It's impossible.
What, I would not even be surprised if this was just massive coke from Ubisoft. What I mean by that is, I wouldn't be surprised if their own employees don't want to post they work at Ubisoft, not because they're afraid of gamers or whatever, that's the spin, but because they simply don't want to post that they work at Ubisoft, because they're embarrassed to work at Ubisoft.
Well, no, the thing is that I would understand them not wanting to post because they get a lot of negative feedback for being part of this company. I totally understand that. I think that's reasonable. Of course they're not going to want to say that. I think it's the same thing with Blizzard. Like, Blizzard used to be a company you used to be proud of working for, and now if people find out about Blizzard, the first thing they're going to ask about is breast milk. Yeah, of course they don't want to be associated with it. And Ubisoft had its own share of sexual controversies too. So it not only does it have garbage games, but it apparently for a long time was a garbage company too. So yeah, I totally understand it.
Speaking of Ubisoft's stance against harassment and all that stuff. Check this out. Interestingly enough, March 10th, just the other day, Deadline had reported Former Ubisoft execs go on trial over toxic workplace as union calls for CEO to be tried for complicity. Yeah. Previously, the trial of 3 former executives at French Assassin's Creed accused of sexual harassment and workplace bullying has begun in Paris. In the backdrop, the Celerities Information Union, representing workers in the French video game sector, has announced it is issuing a request for Ubisoft co-founder and CEO Yves Guillemot and longtime HR executive Marie Derain to also stand trial for complicity and the alleged toxic behavior. There is no suggestion either were directly involved in sexual harassment or bullying. The trial of the 3 ex-Ubisoft execs is taking place as the beleaguered Paris-based company gears up for the postponed launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows on March 20th. Much rides on the success of the 14th installment of the hit franchise, with Ubisoft recently reporting a 30% drop in revenue in the first 9 months of its current financial year. The accused men include former Ubisoft Chief Creative Officer Serge Hascoët, probably didn't say that right, who was second in command of the company and regarded as co-founder Guillemot's right-hand man for 14 years from 2006. So he's joined with a few other executives as well, and I'm not going to go into like all this trial stuff. I just thought it was rather interesting, as mentioned, that we get the statement from Ubisoft and the Canadian government apparently teaming up and all that. Oh, we're against harassment. Meanwhile, all this is going on too. Of course, at least
it sounds like they should be more against harassment at their own company. They should focus on that instead of focusing on the internet. I mean, because that's where apparently there's sexual harassment and stuff like that happening at this company. This is a huge issue.
I'm recording this video. I don't believe they've been found guilty or anything like that. It seems to be ongoing. But again, interesting stuff, isn't it? We've also talked in the past about how various corporations like to try and virtue signal publicly as they deal with their own controversies. So make of all this what you will. Now, I thought it might be fun to...
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, I think if you're harassing a developer, you're calling their personal phone, you are attacking them on a personal level, you're threatening them. I think this is harassment, and I think you should be held accountable for it. Absolutely. Because, like, you've left the realm of criticism, and now you're attacking them on a personal level. And I'm not saying, like, oh, calling somebody a fat bitch is, like, a problem. But, like, going and, like, doxing or doing anything else crazy like that, calling their personal phone, like, sending the...
Is that a low-level psychic bond I'm picking up on?
I like hanging around Groot because he gets me.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
Man, my name is John Stewart. What a program we have designed for you tonight. A bespoke artisanal effort that I think you are going to truly love. And Patrick McGee is going to be here. He is discussing... They call them McGee heads. That's the fandom, the Patrick McGee fandom. Here to discuss his new book about how Apple's actions in China shifted the entire global economy. The book is phenomenal. For a book about Apple, it's a fruit pun. I don't know about you folks, for me, I'm on the computer. I'm very anxious right now. I'm very nervous, very anticipatory. And it's not about whether Russia and Ukraine will be settled. It's not whether somebody can stop Netanyahu. Somebody, please. Oh. It's not whether Taylor's unfriended Blake. No, like most people in America, I am most looking forward to reading a book. But when?
We're back with breaking news in our politics lead and a brand new excerpt from my upcoming book with Axios' Alex Thompson. It's called Original Sin. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's on Biden's decline. It's called Original Sin. I'm sure you've heard on May 20th. That's Tuesday. Original Sin. That's coming out in 3 weeks on May 20th. That's just 19 days away. In 1 week and 1 day. Coming out in just a few days. Comes out Tuesday. You will not believe what you found out.
I'm back, and now there's hellfire to pay.
Don't news people have have to tell you what they know when they find it out? Isn't that the difference between news and a secret? You won't believe what we found out. No, that's why I watch. Breaking news! Now, I don't know how the rest of the country is feeling about this book coming out, but I know New York is New York City, baby! The city! The city that never stops reading! That's our motto! Our motto is... I'm kidding, of course. That is footage from the reopening of the Frick Museum. By the way, it is New York, so you know the real name of the museum is the Collection. You just put it up there like, hey, the friggin' collection? What are we doing here? So what is this bombshell book about?
A new book is outlining new claims about former President Biden's physical and mental health. The book, Original Sin, claims Biden's health had become so severe that there were internal discussions about putting the president in a wheelchair.
He allegedly was napping during debate preparations.
Another bombshell. Former President Biden apparently forgot the name of his longtime aide, Jake Sullivan, and called him Steve.
My God! To be fair, when you forget a white guy's name, to be fair, and I say this with respect to the bombshell, Steve is not a bad name. I think even Jake Sullivan at some point was like, is my name Steve?
By the eye of Agamotto.
Because when I look in the mirror, I could be a Steve. Or Scott, maybe a Craig. The point is, the American news media were hungry for more.
A new Biden bombshell. Dropping bombshell allegations, a steady drip of new revelations.
Damning claims.
Damaging new details.
Oh my goodness, they're dripping with details. A massive tsunami. The drip drip on Joe Biden's decline.
My God, Fox News built an entire Biden sucks border wall to hold back the raging drips of details and bombshells. Nothing could slow down this coming feeding news frenzy about Biden's cognitive health, other than maybe a report on his actual physical health, which was not good. But now, we got ourselves a little problem. You've prepared an entire smorgasbord